consulting and training. Recording. Anyway, Beth, you lost me there. She received her BA in history from Transy and earned an MA in communications from UK. She's a 30-year volunteer for the Citizen Foster Care Review Board and coached girls basketball at Woodford County for 20 years. Jimmy Lawson is a 2001 graduate of Morehead State University, and he's been employed in the AOC in records division since 2002 and serves as the division manager. And I forgot to introduce my team. So Cheryl Cleaver is on the top, where she's on my top up there, is our project manager and works directly with our existing businesses. And Katie Vandegrift, I believe, is on our call, and she's our director of research and marketing. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over and let's learn what we don't know. You're up, team.
Excellent. Jenna, thank you. Jenna introduced me. I'm Laurie Dudgeon, and very happy to be here today talking to you guys about some of these issues. I want to first, and I think most importantly, really thank Gina and Katie and Cheryl for their interest in this issue and for reaching out, because I think we learned a lot also that we didn't know. And, you know, folks always use that line that, you know, we're from the government, we're here to help. And it's sort of a joke because, you know, for the services that government is supposed to provide, there's usually folks in the private industry who find a way to provide it cheaper and faster. And so we're going to talk to you a little bit about what we think we may be able to do to help you. And it might be a little cheaper and faster possibly than the alternatives you're currently using. But Beth, if you wouldn't mind to show the agenda today, what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about first kind of AOC, who we are and what we do. And Beth is going to talk about the services that help your employers. And Jimmy's going to explain really the different background checks and their benefits. We've got some sample reports that I think we're going to try to put. We've got them in the PowerPoint presentation. We're going to put those in the chat room so you can get a good look at what they look like. And then we're going to save some time at the end for a little question and answer. So Beth, I think if you want to pop to the next screen. Just want to take a minute and shout out Caroline Basler. I saw my classmate in '94 from UK College of Law. It's great to see you, Caroline, here in the program. So just a little bit about us. So as you can see on the screen, the Administrative Office of the Courts is the administrative arm of the Supreme Court. And as Jenna explained, I think just in introducing me, we have 3,500 non-elected employees across the state. Those are employees in all 120 counties. We have 406 elected justices, Court of Appeals judges, circuit court judges, district court judges, and circuit court clerks across the state. One of the things that I think makes us different, so if you're a company and you have offices, say, in other states, we're going to talk to you today about something that probably another state court system is not going to be in a position to offer this service. One of the things that makes us unique is that we are a truly unified court system. We're one of only about 11 in the country that's unified. And what that means is, as the third branch of government, we have one budget and the Chief Justice administers that budget. And that's every pen, every paper, every employee you see in a judicial center or courthouse in every county in the state, that is completely supported by the Administrative Office of the Courts. Everybody, we joke, they tease me about my Zoom background. I wish I was sitting in the sunny parking lot. It's actually raining today in Frankfurt. But we've got this great picture of our remodeled Home Depot building behind me. We bought a vacant Home Depot in 2011, 2012, remodeled it and moved our offices here. We've got about 300 folks in Frankfurt, but the majority of our employees are out in the counties. And one of the things that makes what we're able to talk to you about today possible is that all of the data in our trial court case management system, it's called KY Courts, all of that data in 120 counties is entered in those counties, and it rolls up centrally to the Administrative Office of the Court. So we have immediate access to all of the most current court data from across the state, all 120 counties. So one of the things I think we want to talk to you about today, we've been doing business and background checks and records checks for over 20 years. Jimmy will talk to you about that. I mean, I think, you know, Jimmy started in this division in 2002. He knows as much about what this business line is as anybody here at the Administrative Office of the Courts. But folks don't really know, because there are people who are out there who professional background check services that provide these services We're going to talk to you a little bit today about sort of what we offer. Some of those folks actually use our service and are probably giving that information to you directly through us. But until we started having the conversation with Cheryl and Jenna and Katie, I don't think we really even knew what was happening maybe in some of our counties. So we really appreciated the opportunity to several meetings with Commerce Lexington and their suggestion that we do this presentation today. All right, Ms. Beth, I think yep. This is our organizational structure, really hard to hear, but I know really hard to see. Sorry, the PowerPoint will be available after this, but you'll see that Chief Justice Minton is the administrative head, sort of like the CEO of the judicial branch. That is the administrative office of the court structure. We're really divided into three major divisions or departments. It's finance and administration, programs and personnel, and then information and technology services. And Beth is in a leadership position in that department. Our programs and personnel are all of our pretrial drug court programs, mental health courts, veteran courts, and our juvenile services programs statewide. So when we talk to you a little bit later today about some of the services we provide, a lot of that are things that, whether you're familiar with expungements or different things, kind of excited to share some of that information with you. All right, Ms. Beth, go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the services we provide. I'm Beth Lucas. I'm with implementation. I'm an implementation and court services director in ITS. So very happy to be here with you today, and thank you for your time. Before we get started on services, does anyone have any questions about anything that Lori talked about before we move on into services? All right. Then we'll get started. So if you go to our homepage, our website, which is https://kycourts.gov, you'll see some of the services that we provide, and these are accessible 24/7 from any device with internet connectivity. So you can see there are a bunch of large icons, and those are the things that most of our folks actually come to our site to see more about, to learn more about. So one of them is pay fees and fines, court costs. This can be done anywhere throughout the entire state, online, 24/7. And that's a fairly new service. We were able to handle prepayables before, but now we can handle any payment, any money that's due to a court. You can also find a court date where you can go and search the docket for a court case. You can find a case, so you can actually go in and look at cases across the entire state to find more information about a case that you're involved in. We have a lot of people who go to our remote court site. As you can imagine, in the last year, that's been something that a lot of people have needed more information on, including how to use the tool that we're on today, Zoom. The next icon is background check, and that's what we're here to talk more about today, and Jimmy will go into a lot of detail there. We also have expungement information on the site to talk about how do I get an expungement if I need one. So all those services are online to initiate that certification expungement process. Any legal form that the public might need is also on the website, as well as kind of the springboard for our e-filing and our CourtNet solution, which is the view-only application into the case management system that Lori was talking about earlier. So this is where attorneys will go to e-file, where self-representative litigants can go to e-file as well. Our court data and analytics is a very important part of what we offer, because we are a unified court system, which means all 120 counties, again, report all that information up through the AOC. So a lot of national groups come to our court and statistics group to get that data and that information. And last but not least, and I'm sure many of you have done this or will do this at some point, we have a lot of information about jury service also online. There are also other areas of interest. Volunteer opportunities are also available online as well. So these are just some of the services that we offer to help you help your employees. Any questions about that? Lori, Jimmy, did you want to add anything to that?
I'm good.
Nope, I'm good. I did just put the link to our website in the chat box. Thank you for that question.
All right. All right, I think we're ready to move on into background checks, and I'm going to turn it over to Jimmy, who's our manager of our records division.
Thank you, Beth. Before we get started, I'd just like to thank everybody for attending and thank the Commerce of Lexington for allowing us the opportunity to discuss what services we offer here. We offer a few different services, all of them revolving around background checks. Those are criminal background checks that would include any cases that have occurred in Kentucky's district or circuit courts. Most of those requests will come through our online portal, through the website that we provided earlier. That website, when you get to the background check portion, we call that FastCheck. We do offer that service through that website. With that, you can select a couple of different options there. We do offer a prepaid account service where if you want to keep a balance on hand with us, then submit requests through our website. The balance is deducted from as those requests are submitted. We do have that service available. We do also offer a service where you can just pay with a credit card as the requests are submitted. That works better for some individuals or some companies. We do also have a one-time service where you can just get onto our website, submit a request, pay for it, and the results would be returned via U.S. mail. One thing that's kind of important that I kind of want to hit on is our efficiency. We are very efficient in processing our background checks. We do about 800 to 900,000 per year. So we'll do anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 background checks per day. That may sound like a lot, and it is, but we're very efficient in being able to get those results back to people in a very timely fashion. We service many different types of companies as well as individuals, everyone from background check companies themselves to government agencies, healthcare agencies, daycare, schools, anyone who wants to look into what a potential applicant's history with the courts might be. We're here to service them. So next slide, Beth. As I mentioned earlier, it is a simple online process to submit those requests to us. We do provide a comprehensive statewide background check. So that will include, like I said, any criminal cases that have occurred in district or circuit court across the 120 counties. Some private background check companies may only provide a single county result for cases that have occurred in a county such as Fayette County. But when you purchase a criminal background check from us, those results are statewide. So that does give a more comprehensive result. When requests are submitted to us, they are reviewed by an individual. They are not automatically returned or automatically generated by the computer. There is actually an employee here that reviews those results, compiles all the cases, then returns them to you. So that allows us some flexibility in being able to review data and issue corrections if need be. That doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen from time to time that records and cases will get mixed up with different individuals. We are here available 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily to answer any questions about those results that are received. And we do have employees here that will be happy to look into those results, review them for accuracy, and remove any cases that may not exist or may not need to exist, or anything of that nature. As I mentioned earlier, there is a very quick response on most requests. Our website will say 24 to 48 hours, but in most instances, results will occur much quicker than that. If requests are submitted during business hours, which is 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., in most instances, you'll get a response within a couple of hours at the most. In a lot of instances, those results can come as quick as within 15 minutes. But we do state 48 hours just in case the request is submitted over the weekend or anything of that nature. It would be Monday morning before we return those results, but they are returned very quickly. Our cost is $25 per background check, which for the information that you receive we feel is a pretty good value. Like I said, that does encompass all 120 counties, which can be very difficult to find a statewide background check from other states. So we, like Lori said, we are a little bit unique in that aspect. So you can visit our website for additional information. It does explain the type of information that you will receive on the background check, such as the case number, what county it originated from, what the charge in the case was, if there were any amendments to that charge, the dates the person was charged, the date that it was disposed on, as well as a disposition on the case. So it provides a lot of information that is critical for you to make the proper hiring decisions. This slide kind of takes a look at kind of how our process goes. When requests are submitted to us, they can be submitted anytime, 24/7. Our website is available at all times. Once we receive that request, it is reviewed by our staff. Like I said, they do compile the cases that they feel belong to that individual. Then we provide those results back to you in a nice, concise report.
So Jimmy, I add, it only took me, 15 minutes, but I did finally get both of the sample reports added in the chat room. If anybody wants to click on those, you can see those a lot easier, but go ahead.
These are some things that our customers have to say about the service that we provide. I think one thing that you'll notice is almost all of them seem to mention the quick response. That is something that we pride ourselves on in trying to make sure that we're very efficient in getting those results back, as we understand that the hiring process can move very quickly and people need to get those people on site and those type things. So we pride ourselves in making sure we get those results back as quickly as possible. So this is what a typical criminal background check would look like. Of course, the name and the date of birth are redacted for privacy purposes, but we do provide that name and date of birth back on the results so that the individual that receives that record has an opportunity to look at it and make sure that the information that they supplied matches the information that was returned. So it will provide, like I said, dates and case numbers, as well as what the person was charged with. If there were any amendments, it will also display those, and it will display the disposition on the case. So it's very comprehensive in all of the data that you receive back. It's all pertinent information that comes from the criminal case file that is filed in each of the counties. We do also send a copy of the results to the individual that is being checked. That kind of helps our quality assurance aspect of it. It allows them to review the record for accuracy. If there are any issues with the record, like I said, we do issue a correction, which you will also receive a copy of should you choose to utilize our service. Like I said, we feel that really helps our quality assurance aspect in allowing those individuals to review the information that we've sent about their criminal cases.
So Jimmy, can you talk a little bit about a individual request versus batch requests, so that, companies, are they able to send in multiple requests at the same time? And how is that? So this report, I think, is a batch request. How does that differ from a single request?
Sure. We do allow people to submit large batches of requests. You can submit up to, I don't even think there's a limit on how many requests you can submit. You could submit 1,000 requests at one time. On our website, there is a sample Excel file. Some companies choose to extract information from their database and load it into this Excel file and then submit it to us. That allows for a very efficient submittal for a lot of people. Then we will process all 1,000 of those requests and would return them all together in one batch of records. So anytime there's more than one request, we consider that a batch of requests. So like I said, you can submit as many requests as you have all together, and they would all be processed and returned together. You can also submit just one individual request. We would process that request and return just that one result. So we're pretty flexible in how we allow people to submit that information to us.
Well, and Jimmy, let me ask a question. I don't know how much private business, how many batch requests we get. I'm sure several, but when you mentioned thousands, that's usually, I would imagine, is that from the school systems?
The larger school systems, Jefferson, Fayette, they will submit those types of requests. We do also have some background check companies that will submit very large numbers of requests in that manner. So it can be as many as someone has. Like I said, we don't have a limit on that. So it's as many background checks as they need completed.
And so, and I'm going to pop around for a minute because that's the ADD in me. But I think one of the things that we learned when we were talking to Jenna and Katie and Cheryl, we had some industry, and I don't think it's any of our folks on call, but nationally they're contracting with background check companies. Some of them do come through us to get the background checks, but we didn't realize there was even an association of background checks, individual members. What those folks are doing is if they have a hiring application, say from you, and they ask an applicant to self-report, do you have any criminal convictions or any charges in any counties in Kentucky? If so, list those. So maybe they list a speeding ticket in one county, maybe they list, another charge, a possession charge in another county, something else in another county. So what those folks will do is they'll go to our circuit court clerk offices. And this is how the issue first came to our attention, is that during COVID, suddenly all of those offices were closed to foot traffic. And we had always had what we called a patron station there. Folks were able to get in, let's say it was Fayette County, they were able to go into Vince Riggs's office where the patron station was, just look at Fayette County data. Like they may have 5 or 6 names for people they're looking at in Fayette County. They'd run that in the case management system. They would not have the ability to necessarily differentiate or distinguish if there's a typographical error, somebody has an incorrect middle initial, they may get that. Our folks, and Jimmy, if you'll talk about that a little bit, our folks are trained when they do these background checks, it's all the data for 120 counties, and then they have the ability to match, to make sure what we're giving you is accurate. And Jimmy, if you could speak to that a little.
Sure. They're within that case management system, there is the opportunity for human error. It is obtained from humans. It is keyed into that system by humans. So that possibility does exist. So our employees here are trained on those nuances, what to look for, and how to determine whether that's likely a typographical error or likely a different person whose case that they're looking at. So we have a lot of experience here in looking at those cases and making a determination on what we believe to be a match.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy,
ahead.
one more thing. When they request these online, either the individual or the batch requests, those are delivered back to them online. Is that correct? So it's
correct. With the FastCheck service, customers can choose to register for a profile on our website. Then results are submitted through that profile, and then the customer will receive an email once they're completed, letting them know that those results have been completed. They will log back into our website and retrieve the results.
Jimmy, is that the only option? Is that the only way to get those results?
We do also offer a mail-in service. Some people prefer the mail-in service. So requests can be mailed to us. There is a form that they can complete available through the website. They can complete that form, mail a check or money order along with it to us. We will process it and mail it back. As far as the online service, we do offer what is called a one-time request, which allows a customer to, they don't have to create a profile on our website. They just say, hey, I'm here for a background check and don't want to register. So they can submit that request, pay for it, and have the results returned via mail. We do also have an in-person service. If anyone's local to the area and wants to come visit us, no appointment is necessary. We're open daily from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They can come by, have it processed. It would be processed while they wait. Only process may take 5 or 10 minutes. So that's available as well.
So, and that's actually, it's a drive-through. So you drive around behind the building, you see behind me, and the drive-through window is actually located behind us. So that's usually individuals who are utilizing that service. They may have applied for a job and need to show a background check. Frequently we see it with our school system employees or folks who want to go, supervise one of their kids' field trip. They may suddenly need a background check and need to turn around pretty quickly. So we'll see people do that frequently. I think, go ahead, Beth.
I was just going to say this slide tells you a little bit more about where you can go to get additional information. And of course, if you want to reach out to Jimmy directly, there's his email address, jimmylawson@kycourts.net, or you can call the phone number 1-800-928-6381.
We've provided the link to our website in the chat box, and then a couple of samples of what the background checks actually look like. I would spend some time looking at that and studying that. I don't know what you're using now, and I'd be curious. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I don't know how, if you're all doing background checks on employees. I'm not sure. But another thing we were going to talk about, some of the other services we provide, we do hold expungement clinics. And so we will work usually in partnership with the Department of Public Advocacy to help people who have anything on their record, if they're eligible for an expungement, help them go through the process of getting that expunged. And then, that's something we've talked about as an employer. That is something that when you think about sort of career readiness or the future for your employees or opportunities for folks to promote up, that's a service that you guys could do, especially our large employers. That's something we could absolutely help you guys with in terms of any trainings or any information your employees might need on expungements. I know just from talking to our folks, and at our different chambers of commerce across the state, you've got more jobs than you can fill, which is just unreal. And we have so many people who aren't qualified because they either can't pass a drug test or they have an exclusionary charge or conviction, on their record. And so now what we can do, the law has been amended, charges that don't result in convictions can be expunged. It used to be that you had to wait at least 5 years, but I don't know, Beth or Jimmy, if that's anything anymore that folks might like to hear about, but there's a lot of information on our website about expungements. And again, if you have questions about that, please reach out. I can put my email in the chat box too. Jenna, I think about some of the questions you asked us early about this, because I think this was something that most folks didn't know about. And I don't know if that would kind of reflect, kind of your reaction as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So.
And, this was coming to you really as a complaint, wasn't it? That's how you ended up reaching out to us.
It sure was. So we had a company here who desperately needed background checks in order to get people hired. And if they were not able to hire those folks, then they were going to lose a contract with a major defense contractor. So they were stuck in limbo, and it brought all these things up to us that I didn't think about and Cheryl didn't know about. So it just brought this to the forefront.
And I think, we were surprised to learn that, because, what we want to do is be good public servants. So when we are limiting traffic in our courthouses, our goal was to make sure there was access to all the services that folks may be receiving in person in a clerk's office. And again, I want to distinguish for everybody, the circuit court clerk's office is not the same as your county clerk's office, you know, where you go register your cars or pay your property taxes, et cetera. The circuit court clerk's building is off Main Street, the two mansion buildings, the district and circuit court there in downtown Lexington. So the background checkers were going into those buildings to do a part of their research there. Then apparently I think they went to the county clerk's offices also. They may be going to other counties. And most of our folks weren't allowing, you know, any citizens just to come in and sort of do research on the patron stations. We were taking emergencies in person, but we were pointing everybody to our website and try to serve them remotely. So this was something I don't even know that we were aware of was happening until COVID, you know, until we started hearing from folks who weren't able to get into the courthouses to do background checks on individuals. So I mean, I want to say business for the courts will be forever changed post-pandemic, just as I'm sure business will be for you guys in a lot of ways in terms of how you receive your information. And I think we just really appreciated an opportunity to share this with you today. And I don't know if folks have any questions. I did put my email address in the chat box, Jenna, but you can email us any follow-up questions. If you want to just try the service and just run one potentially either on yourself or on a current, you know, employee or a prospective employee, we're happy if you would like to just try the service just to see what you think about it. Just let us know.
I was just going to mention that, Lori. In fact, if you have someone you recently onboarded and you had their record check and you wanted to just do a comparison, we'd be happy to look at that individual and run the same report, just so you could have a real comparison of those two different reports. So do we have any questions in the chat? Or does anyone have any questions?
I'm really, here we go. Do our courts get reimbursed for the time? No, we don't. In fact, we maintain the patron stations in these buildings, and they're really for the public to come in and look up their case or try to find information. A lot of this is available on Public CourtNet, by the way. Some of this, you know, you can find on our website, but no, there's no reimbursement. So that's the walk-in, and that was one of the reasons we were having background check folks set up at the patron stations, and they would be spending hours there, and then the rest of, you know, say the public was lined up to maybe check on something that they needed to check on quickly and weren't able to do that because we didn't have enough patron stations. I don't know, Beth, if you want to elaborate on that. Beth's kind of become a resident expert on this issue.
No, I think that pretty much summarizes it in terms of the uses of the patron stations. We have what we call guest CourtNet, and that was one of the icons on that home page that I kind of reviewed with you guys. It says look up a case, and if you go there, you can do a search statewide on any person, but it's just active cases. So what the benefit of the service is that you get both active and closed cases. So that's kind of the differentiator between what you can get online right now versus the patron station within the county that is that county's only records versus Record Check, which is a statewide service.
And the $25 fee that we charge for the complete wrap-up background check, basically we're just trying to cover our costs. We do still have, even just as Jimmy mentioned how efficient we are, these are still actually people here utilizing this system and this software. And it's actually something we've built in-house, so we continue to maintain this software. But we've got, Jimmy, how many employees do we have in our record unit?
We've got 19 currently.
19. So that's a great question. Thank you, Leah.
Any other questions out there? All right, well, Laurie and team, I hope you can hear me. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. As always, Commerce Lexington takes a lot of pride in supporting our business community, specifically our existing businesses, and we hope the webinar provided some clarity, and we hope you'll take advantage of their services. And if you have questions, you can, of course, email Laurie and her team, and you can always email Cheryl or I. And the webinar is going to be available also on our website at commercelexington.com. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.